Okay, so what we want to talk about today is photo editing. I know a lot of people have been asking me about how I do a lot of my, my editing and how I take my shots and how I essentially, make the photos look really good without being, too blued out and discolored. And along with, you don't want to really oversaturate the photos where they look fake either, because then it just won't look good. So, as we're going through this, you'll see a few examples that we've done, over time and see the kind of the difference and, you can't always get the blue out of it, but you can really bring out that colors in the coral so that you can really see, what they look like in real life. Especially if you're trying to sell these online or sell them to someone, who can't be there to look at the photo directly. So, but as we're looking through some of these, the biggest thing you can tell with these ones is that there's different lighting that's played in these photos. I mean, these are under radions. The other ones were underneath Orphix, and I think even SP Reef were a few of them. So it doesn't really matter with the lighting as long as you're not getting that reflective underneath the LED like you can tell in these photos here. So I do use a Galaxy S10 Plus. Most of my photos I have done have always come from the Galaxy line of phones. It's what I've always used. In the past 2, 3 years, their cameras have advanced past Apple's. I don't mind the Apple phone at all. I mean, I enjoy it. I like it. I just definitely prefer the nicer camera and the further options that controllability that Samsung offers over their camera versus iPhone, because you can take complete controllability over their Samsung's camera in pro mode and adjust ISO, shutter speed, everything that you want, which is really handy. So um, some of the things that we use, the gel clip is definitely a plus to have. It's a specialized, orange filter that goes over the camera lens to help filter out that blue light. I prefer to use the True View lens. I've tried the Polylab one. I've tried another one that someone had locally, but the one that gets the best and most truest is the True View seemed to work out the best. And I don't even use the macro that comes with that lens, just the orange filter alone. And then Zen Reef actually makes a photo box as well that does a phenomenal job of eliminating the background and just really focusing on the coral. And that's all you're going to see is that coral, which is really nice. Plus, then if you don't have the ability to shut off all your pumps and all your flow and everything like that, this is definitely a tool to have from ZenReef. And I think they run about 40 bucks or so. I could be wrong on the price, but it was one of the must-haves I thought to get. So as we're going forward here. So this is to show you, the comparison of the gel filters alone. I mean, you're looking right here on the left is before a gel filter, like just using the camera phone by itself, you're getting that blue wash field right to it. And then on the right side, you have it after the gel filters put onto the phone without any editing whatsoever in order to clean it up a little bit better. Um, so you can see the big difference. And in all honesty, the photo on that right, that's really what the coral looks like in person when you're looking at it. You're not going to have that Windex effect like you're having on the left there, obviously, when you're looking at the coral. So, here's another one, the Blasto, with, it's red with the blue swirl inside of it. The reds do come out a little awkward sometimes. You definitely post editing is really kind of necessary for these guys, just to make them look better. So, but now these are with the photo box and the gel filter. So as you look at each one of these, you're not seeing anything in the background of the, any other distractions in the tank. So it really focuses on just that particular coral. Now, mind you, this is with the photo box, the gel filter, and post editing with Snapseed that I utilize a special thing called Curves, which really helps bring these photos and these colorations out a lot. So let's go on. Obviously, the big preparation that I believe in to make sure you want your photos to turn out the best, clean the glass, clean the camera lens, including the gel filter. If you have a chance to get one of those micro cloths from Amazon, they're like $2 and they go a long ways. I have a 6-pack I bought for maybe $10, but they really keep the lens of the camera clean and gel filters as well. And then the placement, like I spoke before about that reflection from the LEDs. you don't want the corals, obviously, when you're taking those photos and you're getting ready for it, put them somewhere where they're going to be not underneath those LEDs. Typically, a corner of the tank is probably going to be your best bet. I'm a right-handed person, so I natively go to the right part of the tank, corner of the tank, just to get them out of that direct LED light, and more into indirect area. And then obviously kill all your flow. You don't want to have water movement that just causes, in and out of focus constantly. And then good habit to get is wash your hands good, because if you're going in the tank, you're gonna want to have clean hands. So, all right. So here are some photos. Like I showed you, angles and lighting is all the difference. You got the top and you got the side. Whichever angle, I guess, to get your best. I use both. Um, Now, this is the app that I go to by far more than any other app, is Snapseed for post photo editing. Now, you can get it on, it is in the App Store, it is in the Google Play Store, on whatever phones you're using, and it's free, so really handy. It allows you to change all kinds of different things that you can do. And the biggest thing with that blue LED light that we're getting off of, that you're going to want to adjust, is going to be your warmth that you're going to see here on the right under white balance, under tune image, and then your white balance. Those are the two areas that you're really going to hit to bring that coloration back into play. Now, this is what I use, and I don't see a lot of people use this tool. It's in Snapseed and it's called Curves. I mean, just playing with curves alone, without messing with saturation, without messing with warmth, without messing with anything else, really puts it into perspective of what it's doing. So you can see here, curves hit certain points and certain wavelengths on the photo, on each photo. You're messing with luminescence, you're messing with, highlights and blacks, and along with red, green, and blue, you're able to blow apart the different length, wavelength, light, wavelengths in that photo that you can actually edit and mess with. So you here, you don't in with using curves, you don't need to use saturation. You don't need to blow it out of proportion so it's looking funny. It'll make it look more realistic. I mean, you're looking at this flower photo with curves right now. I can tell you right now, in real life, it's obviously going to look like the one on the right. It's not going to be all foggy like it is on the left, and hazy. So I have here, we do have a short video here that I took of live editing from scratch and into final product here. So let's see if we can get this to play. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're selecting the photo. So here you can tell that the photo, this is the photo that we took with the orange filter. Now, depending on the lighting, we're having some haze issues. Number one, it's not really clear. Number two, I can tell you right now that's not exactly what that coral looks like in real life. But the camera picks up that extra, noise in the photo. We want to get rid of that. And that's what you're seeing here. So, by default, this is loading it up into Snapseed right away. You're going to have all kinds of different options on the left, but you don't want to mess with any of those really. I play with one just to see, but it does a pretty decent job. But we can do a little better with manual mode instead of the automation. So we'll just take that off. So let's see here. So go into right away. So these are the different. Oh, let's back up here. Those are the different options that you had to play with the different levels. Um, as you're seeing here, you can play with it, and it just messes. See how you just mess with it really hard. All the different curves. But what we really want to do is bring out. You can see here, you can control each spectrum separately. So if you're having an intense amount of blue in your photo that you're just having trouble getting out, coming in here in the curves and just selecting the blue will allow you to really pull out that blue uh, effect that you're having on the photo. Most of the time I end up using the RGB or the luminescence just to be able to bring the photo out better. But in extreme cases where you just want that photo to come out and you're having troubles, try and mess with each color individually. It's just like on a TV. We know what makes up our colors on our TV, which is red, green, and blue. It's the same thing on photos. That's what shows us our photos and our pictures. So as you can see here, I'm adjusting and messing with the curvature of the photo. And look at how better it's looking just by simply messing with this alone. So I messed with this first on the curves, just that alone. And then I went into the other ones and did the warmth and the temperature. This one we're adjusting the temperature a little bit to try and get it as close as we can without really making it over the top and looking really bad. This is going to make it look better. Warmth now we're adjusting here. As you can tell, we're bringing that out a little bit. Well, let's see here. All right, now sharpening. Now this is a good one here. This helps because corals have those, they got the polyps. You want to really bring the detail out a little better in those. So utilizing a sharpening tool really helps bring that out in the photos. Not over the top, but just to where you start to see it come out really well, which is about right here. And then here we're messing with the brightness just a little bit. And then we can just export it, and then we're done. All right. So here's some perfect examples of Snapseed's before and afters. I mean, these are using more yellow coral. And on the left, I mean, it's not a bad photo, but you're getting some noise and some distortion, so we can clean that up a little bit where it looks a little better, and that's where you're seeing it on the right-hand side, which just turns out to be a beautiful favia there we have. You can't really see that, but this has a pink rim along the underneath edge, which will be nice. A little bit different than your typical submarine. Now here's a good one that has a lot of polyp detail that we're trying to get. Um, you can more sharpening this on this one to be able to bring those out a little better, and then the coloration a little better. But now here's a good one. This one was a before and after of a Looney Tunes stylo. We're able to zoom in better. You're able to see the details more clearly. You know, Overall, much better shot. And including with Snapseed, you can also crop that photo. Just don't overdo it.